Moving on now to a short film, Italian film called TV Man. And to intro it, we've got a little promo from the filmmaker himself.
nice.
Here we go.
Hey, UK film review listeners, I'm Leonardo Valenti. Yes, I'm Italian, as you can probably hear from the accent, and I've been a screenwriter for 20 years. Back in 1997, I shot a zero-budget short called Comando, aka TV Man. We used one Super VHS camcorder, edited tape to tape on two VCRs, and mixed the sound on a tiny 4-track. Then it disappeared for 28 years, until January, when a surviving tape resurfaced. It's a quick hit of the fantastic, the comic, the slapstick, and the gloriously absurd. Since its comeback, it's picked up 40-plus festival selections, 6 awards, and 4 honorable mentions. If you love VHS vibes and unapologetic DIY, give TV Man a spin. Grazie, and enjoy the show.
I mean, you can't say fairer than that, having
No.
the filmmaker himself, Leonardo Valentini, actually introduce his film. As it's called, TV Man, Telecomando. We don't need a synopsis as such, because he's kind of done that for you. Sorry, Brian, he's robbed you of that.
No, I know. He's taken my job away from me, hasn't he?
Yeah. It's a really interesting short film. It's got sci-fi vibes, very nostalgic for anyone, from the 80s, 90s sort of period. As you said, if you love VHS DIY films, this is up there. What did you think of TV Man, Brian?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd say what I really liked about it, though, was the kind of the rawness of it, the roughness of it all. It makes no secret of how they made it, that it was made with a handheld camera and VHS tapes, which almost seems prehistoric by modern standards. But I think it was a very brave thing to do on his part to go back and revisit it and repackage it, represent it, however you want to describe it. And a very kind of entertaining short. The only thing that I found distracting was the music was a bit too loud, but that could just be a product of the way it was produced. But aside from that, I think it was really good fun. I think the visuals were great. I love the idea that this guy's getting ready for a date, and then the man on the TV starts talking to him and giving him advice. I like that. That's a clever way of approaching an age-old storyline, really, isn't it? And yeah, really good fun. Really enjoyed it, and it will gain a status. I mean, if it's already got 40 film festival selections, then obviously people are responding to it in the right way. But I think it's really great fun, and it's very original and very raw. But I like that. It's the way it was meant to be. It's the way it was shot. And it becomes almost a cult film, a pioneering indie short film. So I really enjoyed it. I think it's really good.
I think you're right in terms of that nostalgic feel, and I think the DIY nature to it is its charm. It reminded me as well of like B movies from the 50s, where it'd be like some random idea, and they'd just go, let's make a movie about it. Yeah. And I love that spirit. It's got a kind of punky spirit to it that for me, I was really engaged. I really like the idea. Obviously, it's in Italian, and it is quite sort of quirky, like the way it's filmed and the way it's all sort of delivered. But at times, it felt vintage and low res, but not in a way that was to its detriment. It felt like it worked. The characters are kind of like larger than life at times. Like, there's a bit where Marco, the sort of main character, he's like dancing up the stairs, and it was like just straight away you just feel connected to this really sort of interesting character, and then the sort of plot starts to develop and thicken, but in a really comic way. I thought that worked well. Some of the filming, if this isn't your vibe, like if you didn't grow up in these times, I think there could be. It's like when I was young, if like my parents put on like a black and white film, I was a bit like, oh, this isn't really for me, because I don't get it. It's not. I'm not a product of that time. No. So I could imagine this doesn't have that kind of audience, like I knew it, but I might be wrong. And much like the documentary you just reviewed, it's an interesting example of where, albeit this was filmed, 1997, of what can still be done, just with simple technology and, a very limited budget. You can put together something that actually is going to stand up.
Yeah, I mean, you can very easily make a point when you do something that simple. You get the message across. You know what it's trying to say, and I like the visuals. I mean, the visuals are always stronger for me, because even though it's in Italian, you still you can still surmise a certain amount of what's you know what's going on, you know what's happening. So it almost becomes universal in that way. And there's elements of slapstick there, which I enjoy as well. But I think it's all good. It all works for me.
And I always think, like, obviously they found this stuff, so like, why do you care now? Like, why even put this together, put it out, go through the effort and the expense of submitting to all those festivals and things?
Yeah.
But what I think it does have is still a relevant theme of like, so in the 90s or anything like that, it was always everyone wanted to be on TV, right? Everyone was like, oh, that's the dream, right? And I think this is like playing with that. That still has a really, really interesting relevance to a modern audience, who all now want to be in the screen that's in their hand. We all want to be on the phone or like an influencer or whatever. So there's always that relevancy to it, but you got to be careful what you wish for, because obviously what happens with this character, it's not plain sailing. And I think, I do wonder that sometimes, like, why are we watching it? And I wasn't disappointed with this. I felt, I'm happy to watch this. It seems well put together.
Yeah. I mean, look, he could have taken the easy way out, couldn't he? He could have remade the thing. He could have reshot it very easily, couldn't he? And it might have been more slick and more polished, but sometimes you don't need to do that. And some films can still stand alone, even if they are the best part of 30 years old, which this is. But it still works. I mean, as I say, he resisted the temptation to redo it and to polish it up, because it doesn't need it.
Because he could have even made a new version where someone gets stuck in their phone, right?
He could have.
The person in the phone, phone man or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, to keep the story as it was, had a real poignancy to it. Do you know what it reminded me of as well? Do you remember we watched that that cop drama a few months back, The Bulls Night Out?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. In New York,
that was in the sort of 90s vibe as well. That was like a sort of, all of a sudden this film was resurfaced, and I love that. I love that we're getting that now, and because of things like YouTube and indeed this podcast, we get lights shine on these films that otherwise would have just literally been buried and gone forever. So,
but also though, Chris, that nostalgia works. Some might say nostalgia isn't what it used to be, but I think it's great. It's great. It's stronger now than ever. We can appreciate nostalgia. We can appreciate things that were done 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're still valid, and filmmakers particularly build on what's been done in the past. They have their influences. So what's the harm in looking back and doing and appreciating something nostalgic and not changing it and not doing anything to it? And you only fall into that trap of thinking that you should, but when you don't need to, then it's still fine as it is. So,
and in Patrick's review, he reviewed it on the website. He mentioned Kevin Smith and the film Clerks, and how that had the kind of pioneering impact on a lot of filmmakers who sort of thought, actually, I could be a filmmaker, I could make a movie. Because obviously, when you're growing up, you think about Hollywood productions, you think, well, that's just never going to happen. But then suddenly there's this idea that, if you just got your hands on a cheap camera and you could actually make something, why not? And I think that spirit is great to see. We see that a lot. Obviously, this is a huge amount of what UK Film Club and UK Film Review do, is reviewing these indie films. And this is a great example of what can be done, and even what can be resurfaced, if you're able to. And maybe there's something out there that you sort of forgot to do or didn't get around to finishing, that actually you always can.
It's no longer a pipe dream, is it?
It's not.
It can be a reality.
There you go. So the film's called TV Man, and or Tello Comando if you were doing the original Italian. There is a trailer as well on our website. Patrick actually did a video review as well on our YouTube channel, so you can go watch him wax lyrical about the film. And congrats. Thank you for sending it in.